So in this video, we're going to talk about 3 things about this build. We're going to talk about when to take the build, what the build actually is, what are the talents that are part of this build, and we're going to talk about how to play it. What's the play style? What do you want to be doing when you take this build as opposed to one of Mei's other builds? So 3 parts. Stick around to the end of the video to see them all. Let's jump in there right now and we'll talk about Mei Sustain Build. Part 1, when do you want to take this build? So you want to take this build when on Mei, you're weighing out, like it's a philosophical kind of debate in the loading screen with yourself. You say, how are we on wave clear? Do we need wave clear? So you have multiple wave clear heroes in your team already. You have Rhaegar healer, you have a Ragnaros, you have maybe a Kael'thas also, or whatever. You have multiple wave clear heroes, and you realize, hey, the map's covered. I don't need to be clearing waves that much, or maybe it's Battlefield of Eternity and wave clear doesn't really matter. You should think about the sustain build. Also, just kind of weigh it out on top of that. Look at both teams, think through your mind how the team fight's going to go, and you can decide from there. You can say, hey, is this going to win only if I get big CC and I get it often? Then you need the CC build, you need the wave clear build. Am I in trouble of dying? Do they have, say, a Garrosh taunt into a Greymane cursed bullet? Then you might need the sustain build. You might need to heal yourself back up. Think about what's going to win you the game. Is it going to be wave clear and CC? Then you go to the W build. If not, think about the sustain build. It's going to be a choice every single game. Both of these builds, I think, are very strong. So you're going to have to think it through. I'm going to say you're going to get a lot more healing the more melee there are as well. That's a really good indication you probably should go sustain build. The more melee, she's healing essentially off of her W. The more damage her W does and the more AoE damage she's able to do to heroes close to her, the more she heals. So it's going to be easier to do that to a lot of melee heroes who are clumped up. So keep that in mind. A few of the things you're going to think about when deciding whether to take this build or to take the CC/wave clear build. Let's jump into it. What is this build and what talents do you have to take in order to make this work? Okay, so part 2, what talents do you want to be taking to make this build work? Let's jump right into it. Level 1, you're going to want to take heat transfer. Heat transfer is where a lot of the action happens here. Let's check it out. Basic attack against stunned, rooted, or slowed heroes deal 33% more damage. That's fine. Notice the basic attacks against stunned, rooted, or slowed heroes. This is if anyone on your team stuns, roots, or slows the heroes, and you do a basic attack against them. Even if, like a neutral boss or something stuns or roots them, you get the bonus damage. The bonus damage is a nice little bonus, but that's exactly what it is. It's not the main reason we take this. Each time Mei stuns or slows an enemy hero, she heals for 39 health. So, what's actually, anytime you yourself, so not allied heroes, not like the first part of the talent, you yourself have to stun or slow them to get the bonus health. Now, how are you going to do that? The W, Mei's W is really how she's going to get the bulk of that. You can do it with other things too, and you will do it with other things too, but the W is where you're going to get the most value. So let's look. The W takes every 0.25 seconds, and it stuns at the end. There's a few heroes in that W. It's ticking pretty often. It stuns at the end. You're getting a lot of ticks of this level 25. There's a lot of ticks of these heals. Each time Mei stuns or slows an enemy, she heals for 39 health. It's not a lot of health, but you can get a lot of ticks of it. Q slows enemy heroes. That's it. That's another proc of the heat transfer. And your E does a slow as well, so that's another tick. And your level 10, when you get your avalanche, that's a stun at the end as well. And your level 13 can slow people as well. We'll go into that a little bit later. But basically, heat transfer. Picture, Lost Vikings over here. You can get a lot of healing. We'll see it later when it's buffed, especially. But look at all that ticking, tick, 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 and then stun. In a situation like this, you're going to be doing a lot of stunning and a lot of slowing all together. You're going to get a lot of healing fast. So keep that in mind. This is an important talent as well. Reduce the cooldown of Cryo Freeze by 15 seconds. That's the main thing here. Cryo Freeze is your trait. Cryo Freeze gives you a nice heal, 35% of your maximum health. Later on, we buff this self trait healing. 35% is going to become more like 42%. So we're going to increase the heal later on with talents as well. And now we're reducing the cooldown of this trait, and we're going to get more of these 42% heals. So you see we're stacking these synergies with each other. So for now, we'll reduce the cooldown of Cryo Freeze is 15 seconds, and you'll gain spell armor while Cryo Freeze is active, and for 2 seconds after. So this is really nice. You get more often heal, more often shield, that the trait normally gives you, and now more often, potentially 5-second spell shield for 50%. That's amazing. You're going to get this trait way more often, and now all of a sudden you're getting 50% spell armor for 5 seconds. That's really, really powerful. That's impactful. It's going to mitigate a lot of damage, and it's going to do a lot of healing. So for the sustain build, this is key. You know, this could take a pyroblast and make it look like a joke. It won't even rip through the trait. Let's move on to level 7. Level 7, all 3 of these should be considered every single game. So this is a unique talent here. You know, there's going to be, for the sustain build, there's going to be some thought process that goes into this one. Most of the time, I lean on backup battery because, once again, it's a straight heal, and we're buffing the amount of healing Mei's going to be doing later on with talents. So every time it's a healing talent, you get a little bit more value later on. So I lean on backup battery, but it shouldn't be taken every game. So what are we going to do? We're going to activate to remove all roots and slows. So, you know, if you're into Azul or a Malfurion or an Arthas or something that has a root, this gets even more value. So think about that. And slows. You know, so really good against Arthas for sure. Good against Jaina. Jaina has the root later in the slows. Think about stuff that has roots and slows. This is important. And you get a nice 20% heal. But once again, later on, we're buffing that heal by 20%. So it'll be a 24% heal later on. So that's nice. The cooldown of this ability is reduced every time you pick up a globe. So it's not necessarily going to be 70 seconds. You know, if it's on a map, we can get a lot of globes. You can consistently get it off every 40 or 50 seconds. That's a lot of healing, especially in an emergency situation. You can pop your trait for spell armor and 35% of a heal and a massive shield. And then you can pop this for remove your roots and slows and a 24% heal. So this is going to be a lot of healing if you pick this up. I recommend this one, but in some situations, these two should be taken. Let's look at them quickly. Blizzard reduces the damage dealt by enemy heroes inside of its area by 40%. That's a lot of damage reduction. The other team has poor mobility. You can keep them inside of this W for a long time. This is going to be a really nice talent, because imagine how much damage you're mitigating. You can reduce the damage of the enemy assassins by 40%. That's going to be a massive damage mitigation for yourself. That's going to help you sustain more than backup battery. If you can keep maybe like two or three important people in that W and reduce their damage, that's really what you want to do. A lot of times this is going to be hard to do. Against Tracer, you can't really do it. She's going to blink out of there. Against Vala, she's probably going to volt out of there. You know, if the hero doesn't have mobility, then you should consider it. You know, like a Rainer would be really nice here. If you pop this on a Rainer and you get the combo off, you EW him, he's going to be stuck in there. Think about somebody who has low mobility and who's doing a lot of damage. And if you can mitigate, you know, you don't want to just use it on one person, or you're better off with the heal. You want to use it on, you know, two, three is fantastic. 2 or 3, somewhere in there. So think about that. If they have a lot of mobility, this is not a good talent. Skating away should also be considered. When icing ends, Mei and all nearby allied heroes gain 20% movement speed. That's nice. And 50 physical armor for 3 seconds. So if they're really heavy auto attackers, this is going to be a really fantastic talent. You know, picture they go Rainer, they go Samuro, and they go Greymane. Then this is a really no-brainer. You know, reducing 50% of enemy heroes' damage. If it's for a bunch of them, that's going to be really fantastic. Just getting away, consider into a lot of auto attackers. But for now, we'll go backup battery. That's our default. Level 10, I really like Avalanche a lot better than Ice Wall. If you want a more detailed breakdown of these two ultimates, Avalanche and Ice Wall, I have that for you guys already in my Mei overview below. This is the abilities overview. It's, you know, the basic kit, the trait, and the ultimate. So check that out below if you haven't seen that already. Hey, if you're getting value out of this video, can you go ahead and smash that like button? Thanks, guys. Let's move on. I'll take Avalanche for now. It is my preferred one. So level 13, this is a no-brainer. This one's going to be Polar Vortex for the Sustain Build. Using an ability causes Mei to deal 53 damage a second to nearby enemies for 4 seconds. Enemy heroes damaged by this effect also have their movement speed and attack speed slowed by 20%. So the important thing about this, attack speed slow is very nice. It's a nice little bonus, but the important thing about this is doing a very little bit of damage and a very little bit of attack speed slow, but it's doing a movement speed slow. So you're triggering your level 1. You have another way to trigger your level 1. You're doing a nice little AoE damage slow. So look at this. Now all of a sudden your level 1's going to trigger way more often. Let's check it out on the Vikings here. Look at all this triggering. Look, you see this little blizzard effect around me? Whenever I use an ability, that goes off. We can look at it one more time. Here, look, I'll throw something. You guys can see it here in isolation. This little whirlwind around me, it triggers the level 1 and it AoEs all this stuff. Alright, so that's level 16 talent. Let's take a look at the level 16 talent. This is also a no-brainer, not really a choice here. Acclamation. Each time Mei stuns or slows down any hero, the damage she deals and healing she receives is increased by 1%, stacking up to 20 times. So this means when you stun or slow down any hero, you're going to buff your damage and your healing by 20% really quickly. So you're going to get 10 armor, you're going to get 20% healing and 20% damage. Don't forget, all your talents are healing. Level 1 healing, you're going to buff your level 7 healing, and it's going to buff your trade healing. So this is going to do a lot of buff damage. This is a drastic improvement here in healing. Check this out. We're going to go lower in health. This is really when you have like crazy sustain. So we're basically about to die right now. So we're almost back to full health. Now we trade. Now we're back to full health. Now we all avalanche. Now we combo. So like we're basically dead under the towers with the minus armor from the towers. And you see how quickly? Look how easy it is to keep up the 20. You can see it here. You see buff 20% healing and 10% armor. Just keep going forever. I mean, we are against the Vikings, but the Vikings grouped up are pretty good. They ulted me. These guys mean business. Look, we get in top of all of them. We hit them all with the AoE to heal on them. We hit our level 7 healing. We get the stun off. And we keep going. Now, level 20 is interesting. Level 20, I would recommend flash freeze most of the time because you're never going to die if you have flash freeze. And this synergizes so well with the other talents. Imagine how hard it will be when you get another free trait every 180 seconds. They're going to have to do 10 times your health bar over. Flash freeze. So what this does is when Mei takes fatal damage, she instantly gains cryo freeze. This effect has a 180 second cooldown. The problem with this is it's not an untalented version. You get the spell shield from your level 4 talent, and you get the buffed healing with this as well. So they'll have to eat through 42% of your health, 2 massive shields, and 50 spell armor twice. One last time, we'll go into the towers and we'll see how crazy this is. We'll go to 1 health. Actually, we'll let the towers kill us, and then we'll try and heal back from triggering the trait. We'll stay under the towers and just see how long we go. It's actually taking a lot of damage. We're able to take the towers still, though. That's about it. Run! No! Now, the other thing is Cascade. Cascade is good. If you look at your thing and you say, "Hey, it's been a 20-minute game. I'm level 20 and I haven't died at all, or I've died once." Maybe you don't need this. Think about it. You know, this is another kind of a philosophical discussion with yourself. What's going to win you? What's going to win you the game? Is it going to be more sustain, make yourself more unkillable, or do you need a little more impactfulness with your ultimate? Do you need a little bit more damage? Maybe that's it. Cascade is the other option while traveling or upgrading your ultimate. If you took Ice Wall, you know, Shatter's the other ultimate. Just don't take the big one. It's not a good talent. Let's reset the talents and just look at that talent really quick because it is pretty awesome. Choose a talent. And here we go. We'll try and get 3 Vikings here. Oy. We did it. Alright, so it's a lot of... You can see the snowballs coming out. That's the combo pretty much too. After you get a big stun with your ultimate, you want to kind of get them in there. That leads us to part 3. Part 3, how to play this. We kind of went through how to play it during part 2. You want to keep as many people in your W and as many people in your AoE as you can. You want to be AoEing everything so that you're healing everything. And you're keeping, you see this 20% buffed healing, you want to keep that up at all times. It's fairly easy to keep it up. You see it's just up. It's hard not to let it drop. But yeah, just keep AoEing people. And you'll heal a shit ton. You'll heal a ton. So don't forget, this build is really all about, do you need healing? Is healing going to win you the game? Is being able to be very, very difficult to kill going to win you the game? If that's the case, consider the sustain build. If it's wave clear or CC that you need more, go with the other build. Just think about it. Look at your draft. Look at your team comp. That's going to be the key to success with this hero. Both builds are very good, and you just have to weigh out between each game which one is going to get you the win. If you want to see more of these kinds of videos, definitely smash that subscribe button below. We have the Mei waveclear build out there. We have the Mei talent overview. We have the Mei ability overview, the Mei basic overview out there as well. Check those out. We have a bunch of map guides, hero guides, whatever you guys need to get that Storm League win rate up. Check it out. Besides that, if you guys have any questions, there's a lot to take in. You can catch me at twitch.tv/chillrog. Stream Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So catch me then. Thanks a lot for watching the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.